Good morning, habari ya asubuhi watu yangu. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend kama vile sisi tulikuwa nayo. Wacha nikuambie, service ya jana, resurrection service was off the hinges. Wewe. Ilikuwa smart. Ilikuwa smart sana. Especially praise and worship. If you didn't join us yesterday, please go on YouTube or Facebook and just watch yesterday's service. And like I said, I am bragging about the praise and worship team. The vocals were awesome. They did a very good job, and we had a very good service, and we had guests from Citizen TV right here at church. That was really nice. I had a blast. I really did. Kama kuna siku nilifurahia service ni jana sana. I felt like it was Resurrection Sunday. Kisikia paka nikavaa tie. I put on a tie, to say yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Now, I hope you had a good Sunday too. Na I hope ulienda kanisani. Na kama ukuenda kanisani, well, I'm not here to judge you. Unaweza enda kanisani leo, enda kwa mtandao, listen to what was going on. Beautiful. That is to say the least. Now, today is Motivation Monday. But nataka kuflip script kidogo. Because I realize, motivation is like that flaky friend. That friend who akuangi tu sure sana. That friend of yours who's you're not 100% sure of them. That is motivation. But discipline is that guy who's always there. Discipline is that friend who will encourage you to start with small steps. So I'm gonna change it from Motivation Monday to Discipline Monday because I am here to encourage you to take that first small step. Mashanga, Sam, what's it? What is? This is the thing. With this weather, especially for single people, getting out of bed is ngumu kidogo. It's a little bit difficult. It's hard. It is very hard. That's why I thank God for such an amazing team we have here. Yani, hata na hiyo baridi yote, and it's actually been drizzling too. It looks very melancholic outside. But we are here. We have arrived. We have arrived. We have landed. And that's why we're able to have this morning show. Motivation Monday, we are changing it to Discipline Monday. Now, this is the thing. Mondays are hard because you just finished the weekend, and sometimes, like today, it lands on a weekend. So, hata kujisikia kutoka, it's very hard. Very hard. That's why you need discipline. So if you're watching me and you're still in bed, try getting up and brushing your teeth. Just brush your teeth. Yani, start somewhere. Because sometimes, we try to make this complicated, and it's already complicated. I had to wake up and first brush my teeth. If I couldn't, Java, I would not be here. So, just get up. You can keep listening to me on your Bluetooth device or your headphones, or if you're watching me on your phone, on Facebook, go brush your teeth, take a cup of tea, get a book, open your laptop, do something just to get you started. I know it's difficult, but this is the thing. Motivation is like a small flame. Inawaka, then after a while, it's going to go off. But discipline endures. So today we are starting with discipline. So tunaanza na discipline. So I'm going to change it. It's going to be Discipline Monday. So I will motivate you to be disciplined. I hope you get it. Here's the deal. Number one, I believe. Come on and watch Sai. If you're watching me right now, you're not lazy. You are not lazy. You're not lazy. Seriously, you are not lazy. You're just doing something called buffering. You just walk up, you're trying to load. It's going inazunguka tu pole pole. So, take it easy on yourself and let's start with very small steps. You know, one step at a time. Pole, 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 pole. See, and talking about steps, I'm reminded of when my son started walking. His first step was very small and very tiny. Kalikuwa kadogo, and I think hata nilikuwa nimemshika. You know, anagundua, oh, I can move from here to here. Afake mwingine mbele. Then after that, nikamweka chini. Akagundua, oh, I can step and move. Like I can locomote. And then after that, he discovered that if he holds himself onto something, he can move. But I think my son started walking when he was 10 months old. Yeah, and he had already started talking way before he started walking. Because the small steps. And his first words were, ataki. And that was him saying no. And he was good at it. Ataki. So, small steps. We start with the very small steps. And see, hata kama bado unabuffer, you gotta remember the things you need to do. You gotta get ready for work tomorrow. If you're an entrepreneur, holidays, we don't know holidays. Ukiambia entrepreneur go on holiday, that is ni kusumbua tu mwanaume bure. It's not going to do it. You know, we got things to do and you don't need a full tank. Hauhitaji kuwa umejaa ndio ufanye kitu. Yeye kidogo uko nayo unasonga nayo. Now it becomes different kama tank yako iko empty. If your tank is empty, that's a whole different story. You gotta fill it up. Now if you're saved and you love Jesus, soma neno, sikiza ibada, sheka, brasa, ta, yanda. Ingia ndani, zama. You know, whatever you need to do. Recharge. Wash your engine. And fill yourself up with the Spirit of God. You know, tank yako ijae haraka, you start your day. Ama hata kama ita jump start. No. Saa zingine unajua, I think it's the same thing with the old school cars. You jump start it. Once it stand on, the alternator kicks in and boom. And today, coffee is my alternator. Inanisaidia. Now, Discipline Monday. Like I said, I'm here to motivate you to be disciplined. And that's all there is to it. In the Bible, it says David encouraged himself. David encouraged himself in the Lord. You know, sometimes we take that for granted, but in the grand scheme of things, if there's a day human beings, most human, nikisikia mtu ameamka Monday na amefurahi, nafikiria ako na pesa ama anaenda vacation. Na kama ako na pesa mingi, because even some rich people don't like going up on Mondays. It's normal. But on such days, like David, we encourage ourselves in the Lord. Tunajitia moyo katika Bwana. We encourage ourselves. Yani unajitia moyo. Nataka kuona counterpart of us. Encourage yourself in the Lord. In the Lord. There are days you get tired, and it's okay. And I think one of the worst tiredness that you can face as a human being is being tired in your soul. You're emotionally tired. You're emotionally drained. You feel like giving up. You feel like hope is almost lost. Encourage yourself. Don't motivate yourself. Encourage yourself. And have enough discipline to learn when to encourage yourself. Like kujuanga mimi, I will encourage myself. When I'm feeling tired, I will encourage. When I'm feeling low, Sasa, like I said, with this weather, I think one of the hardest things kufanya ni kuset alarm leo. Ukiona mpaka Eddie amekuja masaa ya kwanza show, nafaa ujue leo ni siku ya baridi. My friend, today is that day. This guy is usually here by around 4 in the morning for morning devotion. He alarm, but and okay, most of the time I'm usually also here for morning devotion. But today, Leo, I know see Baridi. I know I just said I think I need to motivate myself to be more disciplined, especially when it comes to, because I woke up and I heard it was drizzling and I was like, not today. And suddenly the spirit of sleep and slumber took over me again. But we are here and I'm here with you. And wherever you are, you're watching me, so I know. Kama toko kwa kitanda and you're feeling nice and warm, you're just okay. And maybe, like I said, today is your day of rest. You've been given a long holiday, a long weekend, and you just feel like you need to rest. It's okay. Breathe in, breathe out, stretch in that bed. Amuka oga rudi ulale. Because by the way, a break is as good as a rest. Just music. And by resting, it doesn't mean you don't do anything. Resting, it actually means you bring yourself to a place of peace and relaxation, where you don't task your mind and you don't task your body. You just ukotusa like umechill. That is a motivation to be disciplined on Monday. Anyways, we are going to take a small break. Like I said, leo nikaa tu inanisukuma hapa. Najua idea yuko tayari, but leo fanye break, and then when we come back, now we get into this week. We're going to be talking about, we're still on the story of David, and we're going to be talking about discipline in David's life. Ambaye tutakaa na Daudi for a while. We'll be very much on David and his life story for a while. So this Motivation Monday, we are going to be talking about the discipline in David's life. So let's take a short break. This is going to be very short, and we will be right back. Keep it uprising. Hapa tu.
Wasimama kukuabudu wewe, Mungu watosha. Jina lako ni kuu la kusifiwa, wewe Mungu ni mkuu. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu. unatosha. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu. Na kuinua, wewe ni mwamba, unafanya ishara, maajabu, miujiza watenda. Fadhili zako ni za haki na kuheshimu. Mesia, wewe ni ngao. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu. Uhimidiwe ewe Bwana, utukuzwe Rafa. Haleluya, wewe kimbilio. Ngome yangu, nguvu yangu, pokea sifa. Haleluya, enzi ni yako. Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba,
Umenitoa mavumbini, jina lako lihimidiwe. Pokea sifa na utukufu Baba. Enzi na mamlaka ni vyako, hakuna mwingine kama wewe Yesu. Na kuheshimu, pokea sifa, yote ni vyako. Haleluya, haleluya. Asante Yesu. Pokea sifa na utukufu.
Waweza, waweza, waweza Baba, pokea sifa na utukufu.
Aya, wadau, and we are back. Nika tumefunga bao na Ronaldo mwenyewe. Baadaye watu wa Man U walishinda. Nilikuwa nimesahau. Watu wa Manchester. Ai, mlishinda game moja. With that being said, wacha niendelee. And the funny part is, unajua your story ya Man U kuna testimony. The Manchester United story has a testimony. Can I preach for a minute? How many times have people made fun of Maguire? How many times have people asked for Maguire to be sold? But when you needed Maguire the most, my God, he stepped up and he scored the winning goal in overtime. My God, you could look like somebody. You feel like you are the last person they would choose. But my God, God's going to use you to do something tremendous that all of us are going to witness and say, surely the hand of the Lord is upon you. God bless Wawire for giving me an opportunity to really preach. That is a very, very powerful testimony. Kesho ni testimony Tuesday. Yes, tutakuja na story ya Wawire. Watu wa Manyu will be talking directly to you right here from Uprising TV. Anyways, let's go back to David. And like I said, motivation is flaky. Discipline is long-term. Motivation is very flaky. Discipline is long-term. And one thing we see is that my buddy David in the Bible, David was disciplined. You know, David was running what we could call the ancient Uber Eats for sheep. Yani, this guy used to deliver food to the sheep to eat. Get it? Yes. So that's what he was doing, and he was very busy defending them. He was very busy praising the Lord. He was very busy, doing all those things. And I bet you there was also a little bit of boredom. Because you can't really have that much conversation with sheep. Yeah. But discipline is what kept David there. Even after he was anointed, discipline took him back into the fields. I think when I look at David, that level of patience, that level of understanding, that level of staying calm and composed, even after they've shanded on you, that is discipline. Most people, they expect your discipline to, like you're anointed today and tomorrow you manifest. We don't have enough discipline to stay the process. In fact, the process really sucks for most of us because David's process started by going back into the fields. Now, I don't know if he fought the lion and the bear after he was anointed or before he was anointed, but I think it was just one big old thing like this. And it just revolved around one thing: discipline. Discipline enough to wake up in the morning, take his daddy's sheep out. Discipline enough, because we never hear Jesse complaining about lost sheep. Not in the Bible. We don't hear anybody saying that David was not at work when he needed to be there. He was so trustworthy that the dad knew that if I want to send somebody, I can just call David because he's going to be there. The question is, are you disciplined to be there? I am preaching this morning. My God. The calling of God is on your life. And yes, you're looking fantastic. You're looking phenomenal. You are shining after the oil has just been put on your face. You look like what we call in Kenya mandazi. You just, oh my God, it's like, oh, rabashande, baba. Haka, baba, shata. Yes, Lord. But are you disciplined to stay the process? Are you disciplined enough to be patient to stay the process? Because that's the hardest part. Let me turn to Kiswahili kidogo. Kuna watu wengi wanapenda starehe hata kuwa na discipline. I'll give an example. This guy has made it to become a pastor. But because he wants quick money, and he's not even the senior pastor, he's one of the pastors, in fact, he's a subordinate pastor. He has the audacity to say that those, we should bring in the politicians, they give us the money, we pray for it and we use it. Hearing that from a pastor's mouth, that is indiscipline. That is lack of discipline. Because that's one thing, a shortcut. Usitaki hiyo pesa iletwe, wacha wailete. If they bring it, it's okay. You cannot be asking iletwe. I'm gonna say it loud, I'm gonna say it the way it is. That is the indiscipline of not, see, you have to take care of the sheep. You have to be patient with the process. You have to be patient with God. Mchungaji, pastor, you cannot be wishing that somebody brings you money. If you want money that bad, you go ask. You say, we have 1, 2, 3 projects. I need you to stand with me, I need you to help me. That is different. But you cannot say, sasa walete hiyo pesa, tutakaze tutubie. Na wewe ni mchungaji. Such things, when they come out of the mouth of servants of God, they really, if those are the people who are going to be taking care of your sheep, it's like David starts wishing that he could get out of the field. No. You don't do that. Have enough discipline to be patient, to wait, relax. Number 2, it is God who supplies for you when you're out there in the field. Most of the time, when you're out there with the sheep, let's say if it is in the desert and you gotta look for hay, like I said, it was the Uber Eats, because sometimes the sheep might not be able to go far. You have to go cut the grass and bring it to them and feed them, and some of them get hurt. You have to nurse them. It is work. It is work. You have to have enough discipline, okay, to be able to do the work, to get your hands dirty. Me, I know of people who cannot be found in chaos. Like, maneno kianza kuharibika, you can't trust them to be there. They're flaky. They're like motivation. They've disappeared. You need to be like discipline, where you're like, you know what? Yes, it's hard, it's hot, but one step at a time. Chop, 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 chop. And you can see that in David's life. Okay? He says, David didn't just wake up one day and decide to be a giant slayer. He was trained by discipline long before the battlefield. He worked hard. He protected. He was unseen. He didn't look for fame, literally. And this is one thing I came to sit down and really think. David trusted his dad. Now, he was not daddy's favorite. He was not the one daddy would no. But he knew one thing. I'm gonna do this the right way. I'm gonna slow down, I'm gonna chill. Whatever daddy wants me to do, I will do. Obedience. He was anointed. He went back into the field, still taking care of the same daddy that had rejected him. He went back into the field and took care of his sheep. The same father who had even forgotten about him. The one who the prophet had to make people stand. Wasimame, wamongoje, stand there until this guy shows up. Yes. There was no eating until David showed up. That guy was there in the field. I bet it took about 2 hours for him to come in. And I'm sure it made very many people uncomfortable. Especially Daddy Dearest. Because Jesse had presented the best. His big sons, they were in the army, you know, the guys, they looked fit. But this is where you realize that Saka Baba Bashende, God qualifies the unqualified. When he calls you, he's gonna qualify you. It doesn't. Oh my God. My God, my God, my God. Oh, Jesus. Let me repeat that statement. David didn't just wake up one day and decide to be a giant slayer. Okay? He was trained by discipline long before the battlefield. Come on, guys. So, when you're in your private time, that time where nobody sees you, you don't have anybody's attention, there's just you and Jehovah and some sheep. Discipline. Discipline. Praise him. Discipline. It is disrespectful and indisciplined for your pastors to stand up, then you start a new song, and he has not requested for it. Bad manners. Very bad manners. Very, very bad. And sometimes people let it go, and some pastors will let it go. But trust you me, it is indiscipline. Mzee akisimama, talk, move, get out. Unaanzisha kapambio kingine. Where were you being trained? Yaani huwezi tulia tu, bosi wako amefika, bado unapiga kelele. Discipline. All right, let's continue. Let me get this. David was in the field. There was no applause. There was no hakukuwa na umati that you could say, sasa, you know, yes, people who are looking at him and go, ah. No, nobody. That was just shit. I want this, help me, save me. Complaining, this and this. And the worship, and like I said, maybe this guy was bored. I know I would be bored. Maybe hata tunaanza kucheza michezo na sheep huko nje, unaona. That's what was going on with David. But when no one was watching, David was practicing. David was fighting. David was defending the flock. David was learning to fight bears and lions. And this, you know, David was not learning. He was not learning to fight spiritual animals. No. David was fighting literal lions and bears. This is not metaphorical. These are things he was doing. It is not a metaphor. He was really doing this. And that is the definition of discipline, where you don't feel like it, but you still do it. You don't want to, but you still do it. Sometimes it sucks, but you still do it, okay? That is discipline. And David did that consistently. Like I said, we are looking at the life of David as the man after God's own heart. Or even with his flaws and everything, we are looking at all that. And I think he upweke ilisumbua David in the future, but that one we'll discuss later. Now, how many of us can be disciplined when there's no spotlight in our faces? How many of us will do the right thing? Because the discipline to do the right thing when no one is watching is what is called integrity. Let me repeat that. The discipline to do the right thing when no one is watching is called integrity. Eesh, that is a revelation right there. So, how many of us, when no one is watching, when there are no consequences, will do the right thing? How many of us, when there's no consequences, we want to go into somebody's house and take whatever we want to take because we know there's nothing they can do about it? Or even if there is, they won't. How many of us will leave that money on that table? That is discipline. And that discipline you have when you're hidden is what will be needed to fight a Goliath. In fact, mimi hiyo nitapatiana hapa iko kwa notes zangu, but we'll continue, we'll get there. One of the few things I believe is that sling in David's hand could only work that well if he was disciplined enough. And not just disciplined enough to know how to use it. Tuendelee, lakini hapa tujafika. That same discipline is what gave him confidence to face Goliath. He didn't say, I feel super tired today. Okay? He didn't say, me, I had been sent here by my father to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm tired. I've been working all day. I've been carrying food. No, there was no complaining. When the opportunity showed up, David was ready because he had been disciplined enough to practice and get ready and be like, unajua nini, this is coming and I am ready. I get ready. He was ready. Discipline gets you ready. Now, I love music, so I'm gonna bring it back to the music people. The discipline of music is in practice, rehearsals, and sharpening of your skills. Let me repeat that. Musicians, your discipline comes about when you're prepared and you're skillful. You have listened to the songs, and when Sunday comes, it's just a matter of executing. Or when you show up for rehearsals, you already know the songs. Mnaingiana hivi, you blend those vocals, and you're ready for Sunday, you're ready for service. Microphones start being snatched when people are not prepared. Wakati hamjajipanga ndio mnaanza kunyang'anyana microphones. Vita kwa madhabahu. I was being told of some people who attended a conference, and the people on stage were just snatching microphones. I realized that comes about because they were not prepared. Because if you're prepared, you've rehearsed, you've practiced, and it's time for execution, haina haja mnyang'anyane mic. You know who's supposed to do what where, who's supposed to sing what where. Hakuna mvurutano. And you might say, oh, the spirit hakuna. That's a lie. Don't even. There is grace, I believe that, yeah. But one thing I realize, God respects, honors, and he never goes against this, is order. Some Pentecostal churches are struggling to do even just basic things because there's no order. I got to talk to the emeritus Daktari, Bishop Wawire, and he told me of a very small church who had very big plans, and the way they had arranged themselves, the order they had, not only attracted the presence of God, manifest presence of God, okay? It enabled them to do the impossible. You can be two people, but the way you're organized, okay? You can bring down giants. Mnaweza kuwa watu 100 and still nothing, okay? Because you're not prepared. You don't have the discipline to be ready. Say, oh, but I have all the tools. But are you prepared? Do you have that discipline? The discipline for preparation. That hidden rehearsal. You could practice kwa nyumba kuimba. Kujua the lyrics to a song before Sunday. Are you prepared? Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. You get, definitely, there's nervousness, there's issues that come before. That's okay, that's understandable. But I'm just saying, are you prepared? Like David was ready, you know. He had killed a lion. Oh, he had killed a bear. And he had taken care of sheep for a long, long time. He had been rejected, ignored, but he took that opportunity, in the hiddenness, to get ready. The question is, when you're hidden, when nobody is seeing you, are you getting ready? Anyway, so discipline turns your invisible days into the foundation for your unstoppable moments. Yes, Lord. Discipline turns your invisible days to your unstoppable moments. Let me repeat that one more time. Discipline is the catalyst. Yeah. It's the instigator that changes your invisible days into unstoppable moments. So have discipline. When nobody's seeing, when nobody's watching, be disciplined enough to go do what you need to do. Get ready, get prepared. If let's say you need to go to work, get ready for work. Get to know the prices, study the products before you show up. Okay? If it's technology, know what you're going. There's no need for you to get ready in the hiddenness. When nobody sees you, when nobody even thinks you can do it, do it. Because David got ready in his invisible moments, now go for his unstoppable moments. We're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we are going to talk about the sling kidogo, sindio? So let's take a small break, and when we come back, tugonge pati ya mwisho, tuingie story kidogo, alafu si baadaye ni waruhusu sasa mrudi tena mlale kama unaenda kulala, kama unaenda kupiga story, if you'll be motivated enough to do something, and I really hope you will be, you'll start doing something, sindio? We'll be right back. Let's take a short break.
Tena leo sasa. Ikiwa watu walioitwa kwa jina lako Baba watajinyenyekesha na kusali sana, kuziacha njia zao mbaya, tasikia toka mbinguni. Ikiwa watu walioitwa kwa jina lako Baba watajinyenyekesha na kusali sana, kuziacha njia zao mbaya, nitasikia toka mbinguni. Nitakuwa tabibu wao, nitakuwa tabibu wao. Tena Baba, Baba, tena Baba, wewe tabibu, wewe tabibu kwa mapigo yako Yesu, uponyaji nishapata, siko chini ya laana wala hukumu wowote. Kwa mapigo yako Yesu, uponyaji nishapata, siko chini ya laana wala hukumu wowote. Nimefanyika kuwa mwana. Yesu ni tabibu wangu. Tena Baba, tena Baba, kwamba Baba, wewe tabibu, wewe Mungu nayeponya, wewe tabibu, wewe Mungu nayeponya. Ndani mwa neno lako limebeba uponyaji, kwenye mifupa mikavu limebeba unabii. Ndani mwa neno lako limebeba uponyaji, kwenye mifupa mikavu limebeba unabii. Yesu ni tabibu wangu. Yesu ni tabibu wangu. Tena Baba, tena Baba, kwamba Baba, wewe tabibu, wewe Mungu nayeponya, wewe tabibu, wewe
Kuwadao. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today's Monday, and the more I talk, the more I feel good. I had started out like a Monday. Hey, mazee mvua nayo. Wah! It's not giving. It is not giving. Kama uko hapo kwa mtandao, like I said, leo kama umetulia, naelewa. Leo ni holiday. Today is a holiday. The holiday vibes are everywhere. I'm even shocked to see Vincent here. Our engineer for the mjengo. Unafanya nini kazini wewe? Unafaa kuwa umelala. Leo ni holiday. Anyways, like I said, there are some people today, holiday or no holiday, they're gonna show up. That's also discipline. Because number one, it's very cold, it's very chill, and seeing people show up is very nice. I'm wondering what Kesha was doing in my shorts. Kesha, what's your problem? Anyways, let's keep going. We were talking about David and discipline. The invisible moments and the unstoppable moments are brought together, okay, by something called discipline. Discipline is what makes your invisible moments, okay, become your unstoppable moments. Actually, they make you ready. They get you ready. Your mindset, your soul, your heart and your spirit is ready. Bam, ikifika hivi, ulikuwa umeingoja. You had waited for it. And we thank God, because we get to see it in David's life. Somebody who started as a nobody, mtoto wa huko nje, you know. According to historians, they say that David was from an extramarital affair. But somehow God, I'm speaking to somebody. It doesn't matter the situation in which you are brought into this world. God can use you. David's story, story of David. Yeah. Because sometimes unajua unaangalia unashangaa vile nimelelewa. I was not born to privilege. I was not born to exposure. I was not born into wealth. Excuse me. But God is here and is telling me, I'm going to use you. How? In the quiet moments, in the invisible moments. Those are the moments of preparation. But you got, excuse me, but you got to have discipline. The discipline to be prepared, the discipline to learn, the discipline to sharpen your gifts. So that when God moves you from that place and takes you to the place where you're supposed to be, that is in front of Goliath, you are ready. So let's keep going. Look, this is nice, this is nice, this is nice, this is nice, this is nice. Now, I don't have Goliaths. I don't. In fact, I don't know. I might know about Goliath or two, but not the ones that can really bug me. The one thing Goliaths have taught me is whenever you're getting ready for that moment in your life, you gotta learn to show up. In fact, let me read what I wrote. I've learned that showing up consistently, even when I don't feel like it, builds something stronger than motivation ever could. In other words, discipline, okay, and the discipline to be consistent, okay, is what matters the most, especially when it comes to unstoppable moments. I'm going to give an example of some of the people I know on a personal level. And I'm going to start with my dad and mom. See, I have seen them do ministry even when they are sick. Like one time I remember my dad was not feeling well. like he was in bad shape, very bad shape. In fact, if I'm not so wrong, I think we left him at the house. The guy shows up, goes to the office. I'm like, my dad is not feeling well, it doesn't look good. Anyways, he's like, I'm gonna preach. And he just gets at it, and oh my God, I remember that day he preached a storm. Woof. After the service, he was healed. I can't tell you how many times my mom has done the same thing. They've shown me that consistency, the discipline to show up, is what causes you not to miss those unstoppable moments. I'm sorry. Sometimes you might not feel like doing it. In fact, some of the best moments in your life, you feel like sometimes you stumble on it. For example, when David showed up to kill Goliath, he had not gone to kill Goliath. He had been sent to serve somebody. Let's get deeper into that, kiddo. David had been sent huko kupeleka chakula to the brothers. Your unstoppable moment shows up when you are in service. My God, this is deep. The moments that your discipline, your preparedness, your invisible moments, okay, are preparing you for, usually show up when you're in service. So, where are you serving? Who are you serving? Because some of you cannot serve anybody. And I'm not talking about your service here. Your lip service, I'm a villa, sasa, oh papa, oh daddy, oh bishop, nah. I'm not talking about those moments of spiritual daddy. I'm talking about those moments when you're really serving. That if God checks the intention of your heart, it is sincere. Haujakuja kufanya show na lip service. I know. Kuna watu mahali penye wako kuzile za sashi de bro nini. Yes, ndio nakuuliza swali. Those moments yenye umesema unajua nini? Leo nataka tu kwenda church nitumikie Mungu. Sitaki mtu anipigie makofi, sitaki recognition ya mtu, sitaki urafiki ya mtu. David had not come to start pigging stories with the brothers. David had been sent with the food to his brothers. Wakaona David akasema, Dave, let us do this. What did I send? What did I send today? I see some ugali there. Did he give you some chicken? You know, you say we slaughtered a sheep yesterday. There's some meat there. Okay. Did you fry it the way I like it? Yes. He was there to serve. Your unstoppable moments don't come packaged in the way you think they should be packaged. Some of us think, oh, that day when I'm anointed, they will call me from the back. Be like, oh, brother so-and-so, come here. Most probably, you'll be forced to do something nauko over there. And God just highlights you. In fact, like I said, most of our unstoppable moments are found during service. Learn to serve people. Learn to serve people, especially family. You know, David's loyalty to his family ndio ilifanya aka make sure chakula imefika. And his obedience to his father. Some of us, we want to say that we want to serve God, and you cannot even serve your own family. Huwezi beba chakula ulete kanisani kwa sababu your husband amefika mapema na inafaa kuwa akitumikia Mungu, sasa atapata chai huko. Hapana, wewe ni mke yake, mbebe chai, mtengeneze chai. Batika pana sawa. Nasema lakini sasa si hao wamejipanga. So ujaribu kuleta yako. Labda wamejipanga kivyao, si ndio? But maybe they also need yours. Leo ushering hata ifanye kazi vizuri. Pia na usher. Protocol 1 2 3. Join the protocol team. Chakula, you praise and worship. Have you learned an instrument? Because when you're serving, that is where, trust you me, you find your unstoppable moment. David had to be obedient and go and serve his brothers. I'm sure even one of his brothers could be like, but how couldn't let pilipili? Like, David, you know, those are brothers. That's what brothers do. But David came with a heart to serve. And that discipline which he had is what now brought him there. Suddenly, he kills Goliath, and his brothers are the ones charging. Wakisema, David, vizuri leta hiyo chakula. Acha tuwe Wafilisti. Sha. You cannot swing that sling if you don't have discipline. Because that is the unstoppable moment. Yo. Tunakasika kwa sababu we are not in the limelight. Furahia kukaa huko kwa sababu siku yako ikifika ya kushine, hata tujaribu kuzizima haziwezi. They cannot. I'm going to give you, acha nikwambie. Mimi hii testimony. Tarehe 13 ya hii mwezi. Actually, tarehe 12, Pastor Zebedi calls me in the evening and tells me, be preaching in the morning. I'm like, okay, cool. And I remember I sit down, I'm going through the message. I'm like, this is what I'm going to talk about, this and this and this. And as I stood there that morning, that is my son's birthday. And I really wish I could see my son. If there's one thing I really wanted to, it's just to see that boy on his birthday. But no, I couldn't, due to unavoidable circumstances. And when you step into that, I remember when I stepped onto the madhabahu, I felt, it's like peace, it's like assurance. It's like Mungu ananipapasa kwa mgongo. Akaniambia, kijana, uko tu sawa. You're okay. That moment right there, to me, that was my unstoppable moment. Because, trust you me, life can throw itself at you in a way, unabaki ukishangaa tu. But this is the funny part. You get prepared during those life processes. Uko kama umefichwa. Now, like I said, it's hard work. You know, taking care of number one, somebody else's sheep, having to tend to them, having to feed them, and fighting animals, fighting cruelty, fighting bad thoughts. You know, like if David was over there and Akanza to, it would be a very good time for him to have self-pity. But this guy did not have self-pity. But that's where he realized that God fights for us. His perspective of that situation was very different. In fact, like I said, that was a time for him to learn to play the strings, man. You know, that was time for him to write some of the psalms. That was time for him to train. Like I said, he used to train with the sheep. I'm sure Sazia alikuwa anajifanya on a fight taekwondo with the sheep, you know. I'm sure he learned how to midwife the sheep, and he learned how to shear the sheep. He learned how to even treat the sheep, you know. He had to be everything to the sheep, because that's what a shepherd is to his sheep. And the moment shows up and he's ready. And God in heaven respects that moment. And like I said, as we look at the life of David, I am very inspired. I don't know what doing out I love. He tells Goliath, I come to you in the name of the Lord. In other words, God has been getting me ready just for this one moment. Not 2, not 3, not 4, just this unstoppable moment. And that's the moment that changed David completely. Because right after that, he was called to the king's palace. My question is, and my challenge to you today is, are we getting ready in secret what God is going to do in public? Are we praying in secret? Are we reading the word of God in secret? Are we getting our minds, our souls? Are we fasting? Are we getting this whole thing to align so that when the unstoppable moment shows up, David akuma nje. David aliangalia Goliath akasema sawa. Nimekutana na dubu, nimekutana na simba. Now I have a Philistine. And he does it. And a swim with people. Literally swims it. My dad once said, even if Goliath tried to duck, that stone would have, in the part of it would have followed his head and hit right there. Down. Goliath is down. The ability to swing that sling, the skill, the technique comes about with the discipline of preparation. So let us go. The difference between discipline and the motivation is like a flame. Inawaka, inapotea. Discipline is a gradual process. You learn to take one step at a time. You start doing one thing at a time. It's like going to the gym. Leo ukienda gym, you won't run for 3 kilometers. Leo unaweza kimbia 500 meters. Kesho kutwa 600, 700, 800. It's gradual. And that's the thing, from grace to grace. The gradualness of that thing is in discipline, because discipline is what actually, discipline and consistency, they go together like this, hand in hand. Consistent. You go from one level to another. And like I said, from personal experience, your unstoppable moment will show up when you least expect it. You better be ready. Tafadhali kuwa tayari. Let God build you and make you in private so that ukitokea hivi, when you show up, when you walk into your unstoppable moment, boom, we have victory. Number 2, your name is recognized. Whose son is this? Nobody will remember that that's the father who rejected you. Nobody will remember that's the father who made you go take care of sheep rather than learning how to fight. Okay? And I'm sure David used to look up to his elder brothers and just be like, hey, I want to fight like my brother. Yeah. You know? Because after that, he became from being a shepherd, straight warrior. Like, because he was prepared. And maybe didn't even know what he was preparing for. But from the way he talked, he knew. David knew. David, he asked, one of the questions he asked was, if I kill this guy, how do I get? What will be done to the man who deals with this guy? That means David was ready. David was ready. And I'm sure he looked at these people and he's like, why are people riding on this guy? He's a big guy, but I killed a bear. Bears are vicious. Very, very vicious. And lions, let's not even talk about, because I'm imagining if David was to kill like a mountain lion, Daudi alikuwa ameshinda. Man. Whether it is waking up early, sticking to a plan, or saying no to distractions, it is not about the hype. It's about the habit. Let us pick good habits every day. Unajifunza kitu mpya, unasonga nayo. Unajifunza kitu mpya, unasonga nayo. Unajifunza kitu kingine mpya, unasonga nayo. Unajifunza kitu kingine mpya, unasonga nayo. Somebody said practice makes perfect. I don't think it makes perfect. I think practice makes... I don't know how to put it, but if you do something consistently, you don't become perfect at it. You just become really good at it. Like really good. So it's not perfect, but really good. And not just good, you start finding better ways of doing it. You start finding more efficient ways of doing it. Because, like, for example, David had to pick specific stones to deal with this specific guy called Goliath. He didn't just randomly pick stones. No. He went to the river and he picked specific, because he understood it was an assignment. And the only way he could know that he needs to pick that stone, or that kind of stone, and swing this link, as the fact that he was prepared. And I'm sure he had done it before, several times. So I'm encouraging all of us today. Let's start with the small steps. And let's build good habits. Anza pole pole, kanyaga hivi leo. Kesho kanyaga tena. Kesho kutwa kanyaga tena. Unaweza siku ya 3 unaweza kuwa umeshinda, si ndio? Tulia kidogo. Siku ya 4 rudi, kanyaga. Step, Same thing with leadership. You don't wake up and you're born a leader. That's a lie. Leadership is cultivated in your environment. Let me repeat. Leadership is cultivated in the environment. Acha ningoje kwanza mwandike notes, because that was deep. Leadership is cultivated in your environment. See, after that, David comes, kills Goliath. After killing Goliath, he becomes a warrior. After becoming a warrior, he becomes an outcast. When he's an outcast, people come to him. Listen to this. People, the outcasts, start following David. The rejects start following David. This is a story for another day. But wale wamekataliwa, wale watu wamedharauliwa huko nje, watu wametubu, walianza kufuata Daudi. And David had to learn to be a leader. Not a perfect leader, but a good leader. A good king. And be able to combine priesthood and kingdom. Because he had been prepared. That's the thing about leadership. You got to learn. Unajifunza, you know what, I need to bring this and this together to keep these people together. And that's why whenever somebody touched David's people, he used to take it very personal. Personally. Ukiwanyima chakula, that's personal. Ukileta vita, mnaweza negotiate maneno vita. Kupigana tu, hiyo si shida. But the people, if you touched in David's life, it got personal. His guys. Because those are people. He was leader enough to inspire people to be ready to die for his sake. Mtu alishika panga hivi na akaua watu ili aletie Daudi maji. Shepherd, warrior, outcast. During the outcast period, he's getting ready. God is teaching him. He didn't teach him in the warrior stage, no. God did not go and make him a prophet or a priest first, no. He taught him how to lead in the outcast stage. Bana nikianza kuingia historia ya David bana, hii kitu tunaweza kana, we can stay with this thing for 3 months. Because yani unaangalia Daudi vinasema, hey, that's why he's a man after God's own heart, because Jesus is called the son of David. David, the guy who stole somebody's wife, lustful David, crazy David, David the one who was like, I'm sipatikani na scandal, killed the husband. Hey, and he had all these girls in Israel, lakini aliona umoja akataka huyu tu akataka. Now, what does that tell us? Even when you're prepared and you go through this thing, you're still human. Number 2, you gotta be at the right place at the right time. You can't have people fighting battles, sindio? Na umekaa hapo, utatupa mbao, sandpaper na randa. But sasa ni story ya leadership. Leo tumekuwa tukiongea juu ya the discipline of preparedness. Na sasa kama sasa hiyo David kutoenda vita, that is him being indisciplined. Sasa amekosa discipline, akaona mwanamke wenyewe akaiba. Sasa kwa sababu ameiba mwanamke wenyewe, anajaribu kucheza chini. Anasahau yeye ni indiscipline. Anasahau yeye ni mfalme, Mungu akakuja akamnyanyua. And akaenda akaambia Mungu, tafadhali. Mungu akamwambia, no, hii lazima ifanyike. Wakati Mungu alikuwa ashafanya chenye anafanya, David alijipanguza machozi na akasimama na akatoka nje. Aligundua hapo hizo ange change mind ya God mazima, but alijaribu. Indiscipline can get you in some situations that are dicey, very tricky. Most of them have consequences. Nakumbuka, God is not mocked. Mungu huwezi mchezea tafrao. Mungu alimwambia mtoto atakufa. Daudi akafunga, akaomba, Mungu akamwambia, nope, inafanyika vile nimesema ifanyike. Ile siku Mungu alifanya chenye inafaa fanya, Daudi alisema, hey, ni Mungu, he is God. Kaamka akatoka nje, akaendelea na maisha yake. See, now, if David had been in the field fighting with the rest of his men, most probably angefanyika. Ama hata kama angekaa tu alani, angefanyika. Ama kama angeamua jumini mfalme, nataka kuongeza mke mwingine. I think the son's soul learned from that, ndio maana sasa yeye akaamua tu, unajua ni mimi sitakuwa na shida babangu, wacha tu nikuwe na watu wengi, naweza chagua. This guy could go for 3 years without repeating the same woman. Labda aliangalia chenye kilifanikia babaka akasema, what? Not me. Anyways, God bless you. Today, remember, it's the small disciplines that take us from here to the next level. My name is Sam, and until kesho, blessings. Peace. Eddie to you.